Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast in this Tuesday in Chicago. Did you like that little intro? Did you see it this time?
No, I didn't, but I did.
He still didn't see it, and he was looking for it.
I did. Well, no, but I was more focused on my guy Ardent Bear and Wyatt Carey out of the gate strong, gritty, coming ready to play as per usual. Matty Legends here. It's my new thing. Kevin Coppernull with the win today. Hoge,
That's a great name.
Our first
Kevin
chatter.
Coppernull.
Actually, I'm sorry, Kevin, you got second place. Antonio Candelaria, first up, first in. Antonio bearing the hell down.
There we go.
I'm fired up for the show today.
All right, so we got to go behind the scenes a little bit. Obviously, dying to talk some football as usual on the show, but I'm really dying to understand why Carman is dressed the way he is today. We tried to ask him in the pre-show meeting. He yelled at me, saying he was saving the answer for the show.
Do you want to do the show before we do the show?
I'd like to do the show now.
I think
Like, you realize that there's nobody at NBC Sports Chicago, so if you walk in to do a show there, I'm just saying, like, you're dressed like you're going
It
there
used to
tonight.
be
Why do you gotta
to take listeners
I'm
by
not kicking.
when Carman wear a button down in the studio here, we would know he was doing NBC Sports Chicago that day.
I don't think I ever wore a button down in the studio and did NBC Sports Chicago that day.
That's 100% a lie.
Maybe it happened once, but okay, fine. First of all, RIP NBC Sports Chicago.
Yes,
thank you to
of course.
thank you to all those people, including Nate Poppin, who's now working with us, and Tony Gill, who's now working with us.
They'll work for us now.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry about that.
You probably you worked there, Hoger, 2 years, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the OG to leave there to come here.
You were the OG. All right.
Actually, technically, yes. Well, Jake wasn't.
Listen,
I didn't work there.
first of all, look good, feel good, Hoge, and I look good and I feel good. That's one. Two,
There's no way you just woke up today and decided to put on nicer clothes. What's going on?
Who dressed you?
Well, that's
Reveal
true.
them.
This is true. Jackie did dress me today, but when I went in my closet today and I looked at the brown pants, which you can't see right now on the screen if you're watching, and I was like, I want to wear the brown pants, but they're short pants. And what I was told was that you can't wear the brown pants unless you wear a nicer shirt. And then I had to wear ankle socks with a good shoe. So I was like, all right, well, and then this shirt was so generously purchased for me about 5 months ago, and I've never worn it. She's like, you could wear the shirt that I bought you 5 months ago that I've been saying you should return. But today was the day. And then I walked out the door and I just felt like a new person. And on the train, I felt good. And I mean, I'm going back tomorrow to my CHGO gear because that's what we're here for. The last thing I want to do is wear pajamas, which the guy to my left is wearing. But so I just felt like to shake it up, Hoge, shake it up. It was a shake up.
Okay.
Sorry, next time I'll wear whatever the mannequin's wearing when you walk into Kohl's.
You can't.
Wait. For the record, I actually think Carman is dressed very nice today. That is not the issue. I think you look excellent. You got the hair. That's as good as your hair's looked in 3 years.
Thank you so much.
Everything's great.
Thank you.
It threw me off. I wasn't ready for it.
No, it was amazing.
I just needed an explanation.
I walked in. I was like, I said at home, I'm like, I'm gonna get a reaction to this. And then I walked in today. I was expecting a reaction, but it was a large reaction. And Cole Kmet was here, and I felt uncomfortable. The whole thing. Okay. But now let's get back to things. And by the way, actually, one more thing. You can't shout out people for buying the mannequin at Kohl's. Do you see the clothes that you wear?
Yes, I can.
I have a dude that comes in from Thailand who gives me suits once a year when I can afford them. You on the other.
What? Wait, what just happened?
Man, we were almost to football talk, and then he just throws that curveball in there that he has a guy from Thailand.
Paul's Fashion. My Thailand guy.
I got my Thailand guy.
You have a Thailand guy?
I got a Thai. He goes to the hotel downtown. You go over there. He shows you the fabrics. Then he gives you the deal. 3 suits for, it's
trash on their set.
So it's my guy.
Okay.
I'll set you up with him, Braggs. We'll do a video.
Right.
He's amazing. Mike Galati, good man. Use him.
Nick's approving of your outfit, by the way.
Well, that matters because Nick is the only one on the show that knows how to dress.
I used to know how to dress. Then I came here. Now I just wear hoodies every day.
You're a fine dresser, but Nick's our guy.
All right.
Know this.
Big promo that we need to promo. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I missed it. What happened?
Today, starting right damn now, is the best time to become a CHGO diehard.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can now become a diehard for just $4 a month.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You get a free t-shirt, access to exclusive reporting, you get a pass to the Discord lounge, and much, much more. Like 20% off all merch, 20% off all events. And it's our best offer we've ever had right now. $4 a month. That's all it takes to upgrade your fandom here at CHGO. It's the best. It was already a good value. Now it's even better value.
And for the record, I was told not to beg people to become a diehard, so I won't do that. But I'm really encouraging you, if you want to support the show and you love the show and you want to get a sweet t-shirt and you want to support the show because you love the show, now's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Also, a couple shows just keep an eye out on. Last night, if you want to go back in time, great episode of CHGO After Dark. Corey Wooten.
Was it
Greg
good?
Braggs and Adam Rank.
Yeah.
You do a good job?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And then tonight, we're bringing you all the nighttime programming now, too, because tonight, the 85 of Cole Kmet drops at 7 o'clock, too. TJ Edwards is the guest. A lot of good stories coming your way tonight at 7 o'clock.
And honestly, I feel like Cole Kmet and TJ Edwards, like you can put a lot of people on this list. I think they're starting to really build some stock equity with the veterans on this team. Jalen Johnson certainly up there. But like when you talk about guys that lead by example on the field and off it, I think Cole Kmet and TJ Edwards are 2 of the top leaders on this team. And that's, obviously shown by the fact that they're both captains. But beyond the captain badge, I think that they just carry themselves in the way that Chicago Bears fans can be proud of. So I honestly think both those guys are the top leaders, and hearing them interact today was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just a cool story in general. Chicago guys, captains of the Bears as they become a much an improved team. Edwards asking, is that offer good for other All City channels? Don't 1,000% quote me,
yes,
but
it is.
Yes, it is. I believe it's good. It's a
we like
whole
to be
All
uniform
City,
here.
Good
All
question,
City initiative.
Edward.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's asking, because he's gonna just start watching PHNX because of that.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
Oh,
all right, let's talk about news that has to do with the Chicago Bears and this week's opponent. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday we were talking about Jayden Daniels. I was just like, I assume he's coming back. I mean, there was no inside information. It was just like held him out. They were playing the Panthers. It's a bruised rib, whatever. You can play by Sunday. The rhetoric that's been coming out from the national reporters in the last 24 hours, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport this morning, casting a lot of doubt on Jayden Daniels playing this week. And I guess I'm trying to understand it. I mean, it's football. You have an owie, and then you go back and play the next week. For the most part, why are you looking at me that way?
Doug Buffone and Ed O'Brabish, you have an owie, and you go back and play the next
That's
week?
usually how it is. It's the NFL. What I'm getting at, if you let me finish, is that he does play quarterback, and obviously, if he's got a lot of pain in his midsection, if it's impacting him throwing the ball, then maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know. If to me, my rule of thumb is the same thing as when we talked about Rome Odunze earlier this season with his knee. As soon as I found out that the doctor said there's no risk at further damage, it's just pain tolerance, I got no problem with him trying to play with it. And if I was in Washington right now covering Jayden Daniels, I'd say the same thing. If there's no risk at making it worse and it's pain tolerance, then is the pain allowing him to play his position well enough? If the answer is no, then you hold him out. If he can play through it, then you let him play.
Is
Does that all
Jayden
make sense?
No,
but that's
yes,
why
sort of.
That's why the question is, just like with Roma Dunze early in the year, what is the severity of the injury? Because if it's cracked ribs or broken ribs, then there is, the chance that you can hurt yourself more. If it's just bruised ribs, those hurt and affect how you play, but maybe not necessarily as much of a risk to injure them
I'd be saying
further.
the same thing if this was Caleb Williams.
Okay.
If Caleb was dealing with the same injury, I would have said the exact same thing I just said, not to be redundant, and I would not be holding him out of this game just because, let's give him a week just to be careful.
If Caleb Williams had to wear a flak jacket to play in game number 7 of his career against the Washington Commanders, you'd say go out there and play?
If there was no risk of further injury.
There's always risk of further injury.
You know what I mean by that. There's always a risk on any play in the NFL.
You're trying to manage a 17-game season, right? And also your young franchise player's career. Look, I don't know what they're going to do, but to me, this is a no-brainer. You are betting a lot on Jayden Daniels if you're the Commanders. Jayden Daniels didn't finish the game last week. Jayden Daniels was said by his coach, Dan Quinn, that he's week to week. He didn't say day to day.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So,
and you have to try to figure out if they're playing poker, you know what I mean? Like what gamesmanship on the verbiage. But that's why when you hear the week to week from the head coach, you're definitely going to gamesmanship, or at least thinking that's part of the equation when he says that. Because he could say day to day, week to week, none of that matters until Wednesday's injury report. But when you see Ian Rappaport come out today and say that his status for this Sunday is very much in doubt, like Ian Rappaport is privy to more information than even some of the closest beat reporters for Washington are. So that gets my ears perked up like, wow, this is probably more serious than maybe me or Hoge thought initially on Sunday.
Okay, it's not the same thing or even close to the same thing, but I'll bring it up because it is the same franchise. One of the most criminal things that I've ever seen in the NFL is what the Washington now Commanders did with RG3 back in the day. Mm-hmm. That dude was blatantly hurt, in harm's way, and they pushed him out there with bad knees, and his career got cut short in a horrible way because they just pushed him out there. So it is the same franchise. Look, the guy's got a long career in front of him. Risk, reward. Risk. He gets cracked on his ribs, can't breathe, and misses 4 weeks. Reward, you beat the Bears. Which you might still beat them, by the way, with Mariota, who's playing well, and they run the same system and the whole thing. I just don't see a huge upside for Washington in playing him, which I don't know. Again, I don't know what they're going to do. But in my new clothes today, I am predicting that the Washington Commanders will not play Jayden Daniels on Sunday, if I had to bet. And
you can point to what happened with the Bears a couple years ago with Justin Fields, who in some ways has a similar style of play where a lot of his game is predicated on running, just like Jayden Daniels. There was a point a couple years ago where Justin Fields was really starting to take over for a month stretch, and there was this fatigue factor that started to set in. And they had to pull him off a few times. And in the Atlanta game, that came to a head where you get to the end of the game and he ends up hurting his shoulder because of the fatigue. So to your point, where one injury can lead to another if you try to push it, that happened with Justin Fields, who they then had to sit for a couple weeks and then played him against the Packers eventually while he was still banged up.
Right.
I mean, the obvious conclusion is I agree with the chat here, and Jayden Daniels is ducking the Bears.
He could be ducking. That's a good point.
They're just scared of.
When you were watching Monday Night Football last night and you saw Mike Evans limping around out there, did you think that Bucs were nuts to have him on the field?
So to be honest, I did not. I knew he came in with a hamstring. I didn't see him limping around. He caught a touchdown.
Yeah, but then
everything seemed to be going fine until that play he got hurt. That's how I was seeing it.
Okay.
Did I miss something? Was
yes.
he obviously walking around the field hurt?
He was not. When he went to the sidelines after the first touchdown catch, it was clear to me, at least, that he wasn't right. And I'm like, I get it that the Bucs are, battling for a playoff spot early in the season here, trying to get themselves established and all the things, and he's a total pro, and it's totally different, a vet versus a guy who's got his entire career in front of him. But I'm like, this is wildly dangerous.
Yeah.
You're asking a receiver with a bad hamstring to play wide receiver. That's not going to end well. And then he died. And so I was just like,
but see, that's a different thing.
It is different, but
soft tissue.
But the NFL
but the bottom line is, if he's in so much pain he can't throw the ball like normal, then yeah, you probably hold him out. I mean, I'm fine with that. All right, we got to take our first break, and then we're gonna have a little bit of a big picture discussion about these two franchises because
you're gonna love it.
I at least find it very interesting. But first, whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is Circus Sports Illinois. You guys know this. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois is high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. You can bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. I thought I was a pro last night when I went with the Bucs on the money line, and I was feeling great early on in that game. Bucs at home, Ravens overrated. That was looking beautiful. And then to Carm's point, they made some bad decisions with their wide receivers and got killed. But that's not going to happen to you. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you want to go see the Blackhawks tonight, you're not Adam Hoge with season tickets, I highly recommend Game Time Picks because I'm looking at some sweet values right now.
I'm going to the Hawks game tonight. It's going to be fun. Canucks are fun. Go to Game Time. Come to the game tonight.
Go to Game Time. Come to the game tonight. And listen, right now you can get $29 sweet tickets. Or you could spend it's beautiful because you can see the whole map here. I probably would go for the $42 fifth row, lined up right with the goal. Love the 300 level. Yeah, it's a nice 300 level ticket right there. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite events even easier than before. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO, $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. Who?
All right. Well, now it's time to talk about some of the connections between these two teams. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, but we're going to take it even farther today. Further. When the Bears hired Matt Eberflus, Dan Quinn was the other finalist. When the Bears hired Shane Waldron in January, they interviewed Kliff Kingsbury and apparently didn't talk to him about Caleb Daniels. Caleb Daniels. You know that's the second time this week I've done that?
That's insane.
At least you didn't call him Justin Fields like I did.
That's the second time this week I've done that.
So you've had 2 strokes.
Well, we just had a moment there that remember the conversation we had earlier this morning?
No.
Well, remember how my brother-in-law had a stroke?
Oh, yeah.
Now remember the conversation we had earlier this morning?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just funny that
now I'm an asshole. Now I'm an asshole.
No, because our whole point of our conversation we had this morning is that you can't do that. You can't get mad about something like that happening
and then
right
your
there.
Instinct was
and then it
to
somehow
just
happened. It happened 3 hours later, but I'm not mad. I'm backing up our conversation this morning. It's just really funny that happened.
A brain fart, if you will.
You never have those.
Never.
Anyway, regardless, so Shane Waldron, Kliff Kingsbury. Remember when the Bears drafted Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels? That was another decision that was made. And then we can go to last year, too, when the Bears traded last year's second-round pick for Montez Sweat. So we're going to go through these 4 decisions with this type of framing of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Carm, I'll start with you. How confident are you that the Bears made the right decision when they hired Matt Eberflus over Dan Quinn?
I am 3% confident.
Jeez.
I mean, let's just do the resumes here, Hoge. Dan Quinn, 92-48, head coach of Washington Commanders. Before that, who was he the head coach of? That's right, the old Atlanta Falcons.
Went to the Super Bowl.
Went to the Super Bowl. He's got 3 playoff wins. Should have won the Super Bowl.
Blew the Super Bowl.
But, and I was looking at his staff. You know who Dan Quinn hired on his staff down in Atlanta?
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan.
That was his OC. Can you name any others?
Well,
how good are you, Hoge?
Did he have Raheem Morris there too?
He did.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris was who's the current head coach of the Falcons. He was his assistant head coach and defensive passing game coordinator. Who else? This is an impressive list that he created on his staff.
Well, did Shanahan bring all the old Washington guys with him?
Matt LaFleur was his quarterback coach.
That's right.
Mike McDaniel was his offensive
so all
assistant.
these guys, came over. Yeah,
head coach of the Packers.
They were all in Washington too. They came over.
The entire NFL was on this staff. Even Jeff Ulbrich was his linebackers coach, who's now the interim head coach of your New York Jets.
Yeah,
so that's pretty.
It's going great there.
That's a good ass staff right there that Dan Quinn hired. Who do we hire? Who was that running backs coach that got launched into the sun, and the defensive coordinator who got in trouble too? I don't know, man. I think Dan Quinn has the edge here. Call me crazy.
So you're going 3%, Greg.
Yeah, yes.
How confident are you that the Bears made the right decision when they hired Matt Eberflus over Dan Quinn?
I think it's fair to say, a head coach is your coaching staff is reflective of who your head coach is. So if you have a good coaching tree around you, that certainly is a tell. But at the same time, you can't deny what Matt Eberflus has done for this defense. And they have become one of the best defenses in football. And I know he still has a ways to go to prove it to all of us, in the fan base, in the media, and otherwise. But I have continued to give Matt Eberflus the praise of developing this defense. And you see guys like Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson thriving, and Jalen Johnson, who went from good to great, maybe the best cornerback in football. You look at Jervon Dexter in his second year. You look at, a guy like Darrell Taylor getting dropped in the bucket and making an impact. Then lesser guys like Josh Blackwell, Jalen Jones, Elijah Hicks, making an impact in London, guys that have been here 3 years. So to me, the number one thing I'm going to give Matt Eberflus credit for is his development of these players individually and this defensive system being put in place. So Dan Quinn certainly has a great resume in Atlanta, but how much percentage-wise is it the wrong decision between Chicago and Washington, Dan Quinn versus Eberflus? I think it's a 50-50 split at this point.
Woo, I like that, because here's what my answer to this question is. The one thing that Carm forgot to leave out as he listed all these amazing coaches from around the league is that when Kyle Shanahan left the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn couldn't hire his replacement. He failed 2 or 3 times, I think, and he could not find another offensive coordinator to get that Falcons team back on track. That was one of the knocks on him when the Bears were looking at Dan Quinn. Now,
who do you hire in Washington?
That being said, well, that's the next question we're going to ask. If you're going to,
seems like a pretty good hire, but
fast forward.
Keep going.
Still early.
Hoge has the floor.
Yeah. Can you see how that shot right there?
See the
zoomed
shot?
In on me.
Respect the shot.
Respect the shot. Ooh, I like that.
You need to realize there are people listening to this podcast.
Get your mug out of his shot. Respect the shot.
I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Carm. No, admittedly, gun to the head in the moment, I was Dan Quinn over Flus at the time. Was not all in one way or the other, but I was like, yeah, when it comes down to these finalists, I was definitely not Jim Caldwell, who was the other finalist, which still seems ridiculous. But I was Dan Quinn because I thought Dan Quinn was doing a great job in Dallas and getting a second chance, learning from his mistakes made the first time, even though he went to a Super Bowl. He was set up, and I still think that they're going to be in good shape. I think it was a great hire by Washington. That being said, where we're at right now, this current trajectory that the Bears are on, I the reason why I laughed when Bragg said 50-50 is I'm going to go 51%. I am 51% confident that the Bears made the right decision because I still don't think we know. I think I need to see more of what Dan Quinn is doing in Washington. The returns are obviously very good early on, but at the same time, I think it would be very unfair right now to knock what's going on with the Bears. we can't have these conversations for 2 weeks during the bye week about how the Bears have arrived. They got the right quarterback. Flus's defense is playing amazing. The whole thing's moving in the right direction, and then turn around and be like, they hired the wrong guy, though, because this dude's 5-2 in Washington right now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that and congratulations. Listen, Matt Eberflus having a great year. I hope it continues. Go Flus, go. But if we go into the memory banks, I don't know how many people in the chat right now who are screaming that I'm being negative about Flus wanted to fire Matt Eberflus. Because my guess is that it was a lot. So, look, Dan Quinn just got an impressive...
Not me.
No, you were all in the whole time.
Nick Moriano in the chat hitting you with some stats. Dan Quinn's Commanders are ranked 29th in red zone defense. Matt Eberflus's Bears are 5th in the league.
Great job by Nick there.
True.
That's a good stat.
Dan Quinn also has almost zero of the players that Flus does right now, which is another question we're about to bring up. But to keep this thing moving, let's get to our second one before we have to take another break. Carm.
Yeah.
How confident are you that the Bears made the right decision when they hired Shane Waldron over Kliff Kingsbury?
I'm going to use the same logic here. And by the way, I just do want to say that I messed up in my Eberflus. I forgot about Phil Snow, the uncle of Dustin Pedroia, who we did hire, and I miss Phil Snow, and I have no idea what he's doing. If somebody can call me or text me or alert me to what Phil Snow is doing right now, I'd like to know, because I miss Phil Snow, and his contribution last year was epic. Love that guy. Kliff Kingsbury. I don't know, man.
I forgot about Phil.
I miss Phil. Like, it just disappeared. I was trying to run him down before the show today. I couldn't find him.
He'd be a great guest.
Where the hell is Phil Snow?
Yeah.
We need Phil Snow. I love Phil Snow. Phil Snow was amazing. All right. Kliff Kingsbury. It's an impressive resume, man. Head coach Texas Tech. Then he gets to be the head coach of the Cardinals. Took them to the playoffs. Then, of course, he shows up in Washington for 5 minutes. And Jayden Daniels looks like the greatest quarterback this side of Caleb Williams. So, and the other guy can't script the 15 plays, and we're having meetings and has really weird press conferences. I'm going to go that Kingsbury was the better hire. I'll take that 80 out of 20. 80 to 20.
Greg, how confident are you that the Bears made the right decision when they hired
just
Shane
call
Waldron?
me Greggy Fence Rider today, because I'm going to stick with the 50-50 split.
Wow.
Because what definitive proclamations can I make either way? Everybody was ready to fire Shane Waldron into the sun after 2 weeks. I understand it was a rocky start from a personnel standpoint with Gerald Everett over Cole Kmet and the 15 scripted plays that's been talked about a lot. But at the same time, how can you not acknowledge what Shane Waldron has done now to develop this offense week to week here 6 weeks into the year, what he's done to develop Caleb Williams here from weeks 1 to week 6. And that's all anybody ever told me, right? All this season matters is about Caleb Williams' development. Well, he looks like he's developing, and at a level that I don't know any rookie quarterback, is at this point this year, including Jayden Daniels, when you consider all the responsibilities that Caleb Williams has at his disposal at the line of scrimmage and full field reads and everything else that he is getting put into place. So I think Shane Waldron's doing a hell of a job with Caleb Williams. Hasn't been perfect, and Kliff Kingsbury is also doing a great job. So I'm not going to denigrate either guy. I think right now we're going to find out here in a year or two.
Can we call it the hypocrisy of somebody who's like screamed at me like on the air and off the air of being the biggest fence rider of all time, just riding fences today? I'm proud of you. I'm actually proud of you. As a fence rider in my past, you're doing a great job riding the fence. Good job.
This guy's might shock you. I am 75% sure the Bears made the right hire.
Wow, that is pretty shocking.
With Shane Waldron, because while Kliff Kingsbury was being banished to, speaking of Thailand, I think that's where he went after he got fired by Arizona, and then reemerging.
He became Carm's suit guy.
Yeah, that's where he got the suits from Kliff. Makes sense, all the sense in the world now. He was being the quarterbacks coach on a very mediocre USC team last year. Shane Waldron was rejuvenating Geno Smith and doing all sides. Shane Waldron has been a respected OC in this league. Here's the biggest reason, though. Again, kind of like we were just talking about with Flus, how can you go against what's been happening here? The improvement that they've had since week 1. After week 2, I think this would have been a different conversation. Shane Waldron has gotten this thing going in the right direction each and every week. But here's the biggest reason why they made the right hire. and it kind of has to do with your press conferences. Is anyone worried here that Shane Waldron is going to get hired to be a head coach somewhere?
No.
Okay. You don't think that Kliff Kingsbury, with what he's doing with Jayden Daniels, and that keeps going in the right direction? Kliff Kingsbury's gotten he's got that written, like, leave for another NFL head coaching job written all over him. And I don't think that's going to happen with Shane. I think Shane's going to be here for a few years, and I think both guys are doing a pretty damn good job right now. But that's the biggest reason why I feel like the Bears actually made the right hire.
Because they hired the worst guy who's going to stay?
No. These are two different – the people don't understand this. Two different jobs. I actually think the same thing about Kliff Kingsbury. I think Kliff Kingsbury, whoever hires him to be their head coach, would be making a mistake. He can be a very good OC in this league. We're finding that out about Matt Nagy right now. Matt Nagy can still be a pretty good OC in this league, maybe not a head coach. I think Stephen Nicholas just threw up behind this.
Give him someone. I did too.
Mahomes has 8 interceptions. I don't know.
Yeah. How many of those did Matt Nagy throw?
Don't give Nagy too much credit for Patrick Mahomes and being with Andy Reid.
If that was a triggering name, I apologize. But the point is, some guys are not head coaches. They're just good coordinators. And that's a fair point to make. And I think that saying that there's a greater chance that Kliff Kingsbury gets hired as a head coach again before Shane Waldron gets his opportunity is not a knock on Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron can still be a good OC at the same time.
Yeah,
which I think he is right now.
Well, and for the record here, these are just because Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, in some people's brilliant opinion on the show, are not the best head coach and offensive coordinator in the NFL or better than who they're going against this week. Doesn't mean that they can't get the job done. So settle down, Bears fans. It's not that negative on the show today in the middle of the season.
Kind of negative. You want to fire the whole staff right now.
Who said anything about firing anyone?
You're 3% sure they hired the right coach. You just said that.
I like Dan Quinn, dude. Dan Quinn is well respected and is impressing once again in Washington. I think I think it would have been a better hire. Yes, I do think that. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean I want to fire Flus.
Andrew Hartness, I agree with you. It'll be easier to answer these questions around week 12.
Unfortunately, we have to do the show day.
The Bears, we're doing a show today. The Bears play the Commanders this week. We're also going to a break right now, our second of the show, and I'm very excited to tell you today about Empire Today, because with Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they have copycats, but Empire cannot be beaten on quality, service, speed. So competitors, what they're going to do is they're going to advertise low-quality products that Empire's not even going to carry. Empire's not going to promise you the lowest prices, because anybody who's doing that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. Plus, Empire's got their awesome virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's easy. You just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. Plus, they service their own warranties. If an issue does arise, all you got to do is call Empire. You don't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number instead. So right now, schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details.
So we all know that first impressions are the most important impression, and there's also this thing that's called lasting impressions. You want to be able to come big. You want to be able to come strong. You want to be able to come powerful. You want to be your best when the moment comes, and that's what you do with Blue Chew. Men everywhere, they're excited to be able to watch Shane Waldron's offense and still be able to be their best. That's what happens when you use Blue Chew, because you will get the largest, most powerful package. Hoge, let's go with package for you today. I don't want to get you uncomfortable, prude. There's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence when it counts. You could be missing out right now, Hoge, on the best sex of your life. Does it work? Don't think you need it? Why don't you try it for a month? See what's going on over there. You're going to love it. Your partner's going to love it. And that's right. I am 100% endorsing it. We got a special deal for our listeners. Yeah. You can try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code ALLCITY at checkout. And all you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code's AllCity, and you get your first month free. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. In fact, we thank them greatly, and we thank them for everything else they do.
The best part about what just happened was right before you started that ad read, somebody in the chat was like, why doesn't CHGO have pre-recorded ads? That's why. Because that would not have just happened.
I mean, who's not excited to listen to the rest of this podcast and then go home and
Skeeter calling back to the L-shaped package. Good job.
Some people like to, the afternoon situation today. Blue Chew it up. All right, Hoge. You want to continue
you just
on?
announce your afternoon plans? What was that? Is that why you're dressed up?
Now we know why he's wearing the shirt. Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't take anything off the table.
He did not tell. I know this guy. He 99% has not told the whole story on why he's dressed like that. I know
you do know me pretty well, but I have told you the whole story and the entire story. I wish there was some
Gonna have to get
incredible
Paul Harvey
TV
on
hit.
the case.
Ooh. All right.
The rest of the story. Kids don't know the reference.
Oh, I get it. Carm gets it too.
Yeah.
He's a WGN guy. All right. Hey, how confident are you, Mr. Dressed Up, Blue Chewed Up Carman?
Yeah.
That the Bears made the right decision when they drafted Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels.
I am supremely confident, Adam Hoge. I am 98.5% confident in the Chicago Bears quarterback. You look at Jayden Daniels, and it's impressive. He's been fantastic.
You've come a long way in the last few years.
I have. The completion percentage is strong. The his accuracy, all the things. But we already said coming into it that what's the problem?
Playing in the comments that Pam is coming to town. That's
okay.
one of the best comments ever. I'm sorry. You dressed up for Pam.
Maybe I did. I love Pam, and Pam will get no shade on the show, and that's funny. And you will stay focused on my on my Caleb take. That's great. Yeah. Listen,
Arm has the floor, Hoge.
Thank you, Greg.
That was a derailment.
No, he
strike against Hoge.
No ISO. Now the floor is yours.
Listen, he's 60 for his last 81. He's probably in a room right now eating kale and figuring out how he can be even better. He had his own apartment in high school over a field. He's everything that's been advertised. He's having moments with DJ Moore on the sidelines. He's doing everything that we could possibly ask. And when you look at Jayden, and you just know that he's not built for the NFL. He's too thin. He's too tiny. So I'll give a 1.5% chance that things go sideways for Caleb, but that's all I'm willing to give. The Bears made the right move.
Yeah, it's a 100%. There is no question that the Chicago Bears made the correct selection in Caleb Williams over Jayden Daniels, and that's not to take anything away from Jayden Daniels and his potential in this league. I just know what I'm looking at when it comes to what Caleb Williams is and who he can be for the Chicago Bears in this league. We saw it all the way through training camp, preseason, and now here in the regular season. Everything you're seeing with him under center for the Chicago Bears was readily available on tape for you as the quarterback at Oklahoma and USC. And he is now elevating his game to the next level. People say, he needed to learn to play in structure. He always could play in structure. He did what he had to do at USC to try to win games for a defense that was giving up 40 points a night. He has always been capable of throwing with anticipation, different arm angles, the ability to fight within the pocket, the laser cannon that he has when he wants to grip it and rip it, his out of structure plays where he makes those circus unbelievable, acrobatic Mahomes-like plays. Those have always been within him, and you're now seeing those at the NFL level. Don't give me the schedule garbage. He's playing NFL teams here every week, and every week he seems to be getting better and better. Cannot wait for the next 5 to 10 years of this dude being the quarterback of the team that I've rooted for my entire life. No question whatsoever. Best quarterback.
Yeah, so typically my answer on something like this would be to say 99%, just a hedge, because you don't know what's going to happen. You can't do the whole story. But I have been doubling, tripling, quadrupling, whatever the next one is, on Caleb Williams over and over and over again. I'm not going to stop now. What I will admit is I have been a little bit wrong about Jayden Daniels. A little bit wrong about Jayden Daniels. Because I had Jayden as my number 30 overall prospect. I had him as a late first-round grade. Now, that's why I say a little bit. It's still first-round pick, okay? It's not like I hated the guy. But I had concerns about reading the whole field, which, if you watch the tape, I'm still not sure he's doing. Caleb is doing that. Now, it's not necessarily a knock on him because what he's being asked to do, he's doing it well. But my biggest of all the concerns was that he was a skinnier Justin Fields. Now, where that's unfair is he has already surpassed Justin Fields as a passer and what he can do. And I did acknowledge that in my write-up on him, that he offered more upside as a passer. But Justin Fields, for all the running he did, was built very, very well. He's a big dude. And despite all that, he still got hurt. He still was dealing with things. So what happened Sunday against the Carolina Panthers, I felt like was a ticking time bomb with Jayden Daniels. And I still feel like is going to be a problem no matter how well Jayden Daniels plays and how well, and to this point, he's exceeded my expectations, to his credit. But I just do not see him holding up long-term the way he's built for the style of play he's still going to bring. And on top of all that, he's older than Caleb Williams, too. He's an older prospect. So Caleb Williams had more upside from that standpoint as well. And that's just in addition to everything you guys, and especially you, Greg, just said about what Caleb's already doing on the football field. So there's no question in my mind. It was the right move.
Yeah. So much love. Let's go.
Yes.
18.
Yes, Steven in the chat goes, Braggs doesn't want to talk about the schedule and references the next 5 to 10 years, but not the next 5 to 10 weeks. I wonder why, Braggs. Ooh, you got me. Guess what is within the next 5 to 10 years, Steven? The next 5 to 10 weeks, which I am equally excited for. So I don't really understand the slam dunk you're going for there, but certainly very, very excited about the next 5 to 10 weeks. Specifically the next 3. Which I am obsessed with the idea of the Bears doing everything they can to win 2 minimum, hopefully 3.
You've got a little MJ in you. There's a lot of nice comments in there, and you want to pick out the one that's coming at you. You're
100% right.
You really.
You know what?
I'm motivated.
Let's raise the bar a little bit here.
Yeah.
They should go 3-0 the next 3 weeks.
Especially
if Jayden Daniels isn't playing on Sunday.
I will accept 2 out of 3. Just to be fair to it, but on paper, this team should beat the next 3 teams they play.
Let's do a little Bill Simmons guess the lines here. Right now, what would you set the line in Arizona?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Cardinals not beat the Chargers last night.
1.5 favorites for Arizona.
Really?
I think they'll be a 2-point underdog.
Just because they're home.
You think the Bears will be a 2-point underdog?
Yeah.
I would say Bears favored by 1.5.
Okay.
And
then Patriots, I think they'll be a 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah, if not more. Patriots are bad.
Right. So they have to, at the minimum, split these next 2 because I do feel very good that they can beat the Patriots at home. I think that sets up well for them.
When you
say that gets them to 6-3. But yes, I think 3 wins here in the next 3 games is certainly on the table, especially if Jayden Daniels is out. And I think these next 2 games on the road against better opponents, but on paper, to me, the Bears are the better team. I think this is everybody always wants to hyper-focus on what Caleb is capable of, but the best unit on the Chicago Bears is their defense. And these next 2 weeks, when you watch the way Arizona played last night, this is an opportunity for this defense to flex their muscle and put this team in a position to make a serious playoff run and give Caleb Williams an opportunity to have a margin of error when they do get into the gauntlet where games will get much tougher. And I do expect this offense to continue to get better, but the hurdles and the challenges will be greater. To Steven's question about what I think of the next 5 to 10 weeks, I don't expect them to win every single week, but I think with every win they get and stack up and have an opportunity to get 7-2, they can play with so much more confidence, knowing that there's a little bit of room for error.
Cardinals, by the way, Mike Garofalo tweeting that linebacker Dennis Gardick tore his... Yeah?
Garofalo.
What'd I say?
Whatever.
My bad. I apologize, Mike. You're a good man. You're way more accomplished than me in the football world. Congratulations. Regardless, linebacker Dennis Gardick tore his ACL last night, which is as what's his name?
Garofalo?
Garofalo.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah,
Welcome to the party.
Garofalo. You cannot speak. You have never.
I actually do speak. They pay me to speak.
Okay, that's amazing.
I agree.
Garofalo tweeted, tough loss for Arizona as the 7th-year veteran has 3 sacks, interception, and a fumble recovery.
Bears currently 2.5-point favorites over the Commanders this week. That line has moved. That line is telling me.
It was 1 yesterday. Yeah, that's telling you.
And it was the other way. It was Commanders favored to begin with.
Right.
So the earliest line I got emailed to me
Actually,
on Sunday.
is that right?
When I got it Sunday night, it was Commanders favored by 1.5.
Okay. I don't think I ever saw that, but I will not fight what you are saying, Hoger.
I mean, last night the Cardinals against the Chargers were having a real tough time taking the top off the Chargers. Everything was like underneath. That's the way the Bears play. Watching the way that game unfolded, there was a few times Marvin Harrison Jr. was open and Kyler didn't see him. I'm like, man, the Bears defense, they're playing. If Arizona's offense is playing like that when the Bears defense comes to town, they're going to have a tough time. This Washington game is more of an unknown because there's just so many variables with whether or not Jayden Daniels is going to play. And if he does play, how limited is he, or how much do they have to change the way they call the offense? Because they run so much RPO. They predicate so much of their offense on the threat of him running the ball. But if he has bruised ribs or even cracked ribs, and he does play, how much do you have to scale back what your playbook has been? So there's just... It's one of those things where I think it could be a big advantage for the Bears, but the uncertainty has me like not really knowing how this whole thing is going to play out as well.
All right, we got one more to get to as well, which I think will be somewhat like the last one, and then we probably all agree, but we still got to get to it because it is one of the connections between these two franchises. But first, Adventure is calling, my friends. Adventure is calling. Answer it this October by shopping new low prices during Jeep Adventure Days going on now at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Stop in today to browse their huge inventory of new vehicles. And right now, shop electric savings like 0% financing for 72 months on new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE and Wrangler 4xE models. Or you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you during each step of your car shopping journey. With Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices you can expect to shop in store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees since they prioritize affordability for their customers. Hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. I'm actually going to be visiting them on Thursday on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
That's right. And Hoge brought it up earlier, and we have a really special deal for all of you guys to become a diehard here at CHGO Sports. We're building the biggest and best community of Chicago sports fans, and we want you to be a part of it. So many have joined us here in the first 3 years of this operation, and it's only going up from here, guys, and the teams are just going to continue to get better, including our beloved Chicago Bears. So much so that we're giving you a special offer with our lowest rate ever. Become a CHGO diehard today for just $4 a month, billed annually. That's right, just $48 a year. get you a free t-shirt, access to our exclusive written content by guys like Mark Carman, Adam Hoge, Nick Moriano, Patrick Norton, who are at Hallis Hall daily and following this team around yearly. Plenty of discounts and access to our CHGO Discord lounge, where we all hang out and talk Chicago sports daily, all the different teams, not just the Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, everything, you name it, we got it. This is a limited time offer, so act now. So visit chgo.com/ to sign up today. And like I said, you get discounts on events as well. We have tailgates to every single home game. We have different events, live shows. We got some special announcements coming up for some different events coming up. So stay on the lookout for all of that. But just premium written content, awesome merch, the whole 9 yards. Hit up and become a diehard now.
Shout out Jose Diaz, who says he's subscribing right now. The thing I've always liked about Jose is that Jose doesn't wait. Jose sees an opportunity, and Jose takes that opportunity. Others might consider, they might get in line at Starbucks and think that, am I going with the latte? Am I getting the Americano? Am I going straight coffee? What am I going to do? Jose knows. Jose, he's got the credit card out right when he gets up there. He's not. There's no some moment for Jose where he's like, oh yeah, I've got to pay too. No, Jose keeps the line moving, and Jose Diaz is now one of our.
What about my guy Ryan? Ryan just became a diehard. He hit me up. Ryan was sitting next to me at the game at Tottenham.
Listen, I've always respected Ryan.
That's what I thought.
Ryan's a guy that.
Here's a guy.
Yeah, Ryan. Not only is he a great Bears fan,
he's from Florida.
Not only does he live in the teeth of hurricanes daily and just somehow continues to move his life forward, but Ryan is a dear friend. Ryan knows what friendship is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved adding you as a new friend. And I know it meant a ton to him. So we thank Ryan, one of our newest friends in DieHards.
No, it was the coolest thing, man. To be at Tottenham, sit down, all of a sudden the guy that you left is a huge fan of our show. It just goes to show you the reach that this show has, but the community that we're building, we appreciate each and every single one of you.
And Mercedes also just became a diehard.
Let's go.
Oh,
Mercedes Lewis, welcome to the program.
Mercedes Erpelding.
There's no way you said that right. That's a cool
Mercedes.
name, too.
Bottom line, you're a champion and you're a diehard and you're a leader and you're somebody that we are so proud to have here. And you're not just a car, but you're a feeling. You're a person. You're a deep, passionate individual that we're really happy to have.
Remember when we talked earlier about keeping the line moving at Farmer?
What the
That sounded like
that was the sound you made.
That was the noise I made earlier. Do it again.
It sounds like you sneezed.
It did. Yeah.
That's when the Pam comment came in?
Yeah, that was a Pam. That was a Pam noise.
All right.
That was my Pam noise. All right. Last one. And we can do this one pretty quickly, I feel like. But, Carm, how confident are you the Bears made the right decision when they traded last year's second-round pick for Montez Sweat, who the Washington Commanders do not have anymore?
I loved it then. I loved it now. I loved it tomorrow. I will love it yesterday.
So 100%.
Yeah.
Greg, 100%?
100%.
Yeah, I'm
Great
100%
move.
too. I don't think there's it. But
Looking forward to the Montez Sweat revenge game.
I hope so. I hope so. All right.
He really hasn't had a breakout game really this year yet. He's had impact every week.
Yeah.
But he had a game where they won because of Montez Sweat, period. Because you had a couple of those last year. So all right, Montez. This is your week.
Montez has been banged up all the way dating back to camp.
Totally understand. Totally understand.
I'm not
still making a big impact.
No, you're right. They need more from Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Pick it up, Montez. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think you are. You just need to pick it up, but he's got to get healthy. It's just been a tough year for him.
We'll wrap up the show with this. Carmen, sounds like you watched some football last night.
Sure did.
If you missed yesterday's show, we kind of went through how the Bears are actually in playoff position right now, what the competition actually is, how you could maybe make the case that they're even the fourth best team in the NFC right now, because the point of it being there's a couple teams at the top, probably Lions, Packers, and then there's a whole lot of toss-up. And this whole thing's going to get sorted out in the next few weeks, and one of the reasons why I think this is a huge game on Sunday against the Commanders to show that you are, a serious contender right now for a playoff spot. One of the teams I mentioned yesterday that I thought was in contention, to be like, we're the fourth best team in the NFC, was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They took a significant hit yesterday. Not only were they, the Mike Evans injury seemed to change the game a lot. They were in good position. That probably should have been a touchdown where he got hurt. And if he doesn't hurt his hamstring, he probably catches that ball, 99 times out of 100. Instead, that whole game went the complete opposite way. They lose, and then on top of it, Chris Godwin suffers an awful ankle injury right at the end of the game. Probably shouldn't even been in there. And, in fact, definitely should not have been in there. And now they are down their top two wide receivers, one of which was having a career year in Godwin and is definitely out for the rest of the year. So if you're a Bears fan kind of looking around the league, that was significant, I think. You also look at the 49ers, who I think right now people are just giving them the benefit of the doubt because of coaching, because of branding, because of who they've been, which is fair. But Ayuk confirmed ACL out for the year. Debo's got pneumonia. Now, he'll come back from that, I'm sure. We'll be fine. But, with Christian McCaffrey, what's been going on
things
there?
can linger, though.
Yeah.
Pneumonia.
Carm's had pneumonia for 3 years now.
Every time I listen to him have football takes, I get a little pneumonia.
It was great. I felt so healthy last week, and then this person to my left got really sick, and I said, you should probably stay home. He's like, nah, I don't want to. And I'm like, no, you really should. Nah, I don't want to now. Now I'm fighting it. But anytime I get an opportunity to be with you, whether you're healthy or not healthy, I really just will forever appreciate
anything
it.
I can do to potentially kill you, I'm all in.
Good one. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Excellent job. No, Hoge, you're right. It's a terrible day for the Bucs. Terrible. Mike Evans, when will he play again? It's at least a month, you would think, probably maybe more. And the Godwin thing, that was hard to watch. So
well, and then we
shout out Baker though, man. That dude he's become a hell of a player. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, especially early on in that game, and then he has a bunch of interceptions over the last 2 weeks. But that's probably who he's going to be as a quarterback. The other one we really haven't spent a ton of time talking about the last couple of weeks. But it is a huge deal, and it's going to feel like even a bigger deal when they actually play the Lions, and you're looking at the matchups that week. But Aiden Hutchinson,
yep,
we're talking about one of the best pass rushers in the entire league, an absolute dog, guy who's out there every single play, who you got to worry about the entire game when you're playing that team that is clearly the best in your division right now, the team that you're chasing. When the Bears play the Lions this season, they will not have to deal with Aiden Hutchinson. That's a huge deal.
Yep. And he's been a thorn in our side in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously he's a thorn in everybody's side. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. So
they have, their injured reserve list is enormous. Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Broderick Martin. They are 5 defensive linemen. The Lions are banged up.
Yeah. A lot of things, I guess the point is a lot of things are kind of
so much to be, there's still so much to go. And the Bears aren't going to, escape this either. Kyler Gordon, who knows if he's going to be able to return for how many weeks or this week, hopefully, but probably not likely. We'll find out here as the week goes. But, the Bears are going to fall into their own, injury problems too.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's just
try to re-jinx it, the reversal situation over there?
That's a reverse jinx.
Reverse jinx?
Like if you acknowledge it.
Okay.
I was warned before the show I had to be careful with that whole conversation we just had. So.
Well, it's just a reality of the game. So, but typically, teams that, are one of those teams, every year there's that turnover of non-playoff teams that become playoff teams. A lot of times you can draw a direct line with the teams that are able to make that flip, that they have a little bit more injury luck as the season goes. And let's hope the Bears are one of those teams.
We got the Fire Show coming up at 2:30 here on CHGO.
Yep.
We got Blackhawks game tonight.
Yep.
With coverage from our CHGO Blackhawks podcast, of course, and year-round every single day always free, always available. Right here, CHGO.
Well, and I just saw somebody in the chat say, "Hey, I know how much free content I've gotten from you guys over the years." A foul nature said, "Realize how much free content I've gotten from you guys. You've just earned a new diehard." So shout out to you, foul nature. Appreciate that, man.
That's the thing about foul nature. He's a guy that doesn't take things for granted. Foul nature realizes like who's been up and who's been down and who's been around, and that's why foul nature has been a guy that has
foul nature is. Flying high today.
His moniker is not really accurate at all because he's not foul. He's feisty and he's fierce and he's beautiful.
I think it's foul, like a bird, not like foul, like smelling like if you're around you.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
You guys are so nice to each other.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
So
we got some supers.
Okay, and then I got a public service announcement that I want to give.
If you are going to end this show talking about your physical, I'm going to walk off the set. You can finish the show. You can go as long as you want. I don't care, but I'm not going to stay here for it. Nobody needs to hear how your physical went.
But you do need to hear it.
I am excited for the.
It's important. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right there. But let's do the super chats first.
I'm excited for the fire show at 2:30. That's where we're going to set Carm on fire.
$9.99 from Joe Thompson on AM radio last week. Nick Friedel, our guy, said CHGO equals Chuggo, awarding the, quote, Lampshade Award. Nice work. Any chance Brisker adds Guardian cap?
What does that award mean?
I don't know, but Nick Friedel's the man, and we appreciate it, and Jaquan Brisker should wear a Guardian cap. He's had way too many concussions.
I enjoy my time in London with Nick Friedel, one of my favorite people in the world.
$5 from Chubbs82. Washington sucks. We're going to win easily. Thank you, Chubbs. Nobody ever.
That's the attitude. I like that.
Chubbs has got the brilliance.
Why be scared when you can just be Chubbs?
Sounds like a shirt.
Why be Chubbs when you could?
Sounds like a.
Never mind.
Sounds like a Blue Chew shirt.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Be Chubbs. Blue Chew.
Don't be Chubbs. Be Blue. Get Blue Chew and stop being Chubbs. Roto. Flus and Shane is the right guys. Yes, Flus makes mistakes, but what new coach doesn't? Let's keep him and continue. We're going to keep him, Roto. He's going nowhere. Chubbs one more time because he does have that performance to him over and over again. Glad the week of walking across the desert is over.
There we go. I have a train in 20 minutes.
Okay, so just real fast.
I don't, but I'm going to tell you that.
He spelled dessert wrong, right? Is it 1S for the?
Yeah. Glad the week of walking across a desert is over. Dessert, yes.
Two S's
is like 2 scoops of ice cream.
It's like ice cream,
right?
Which I love.
You're a great speller. I'm sure you won the award when you were a kid.
No.
Were you in the spelling bee?
No.
Did you? What's 6 times 3? Okay, so I learned something yesterday.
He's trying to figure it out right now.
I just want to tell you. I went, and everybody should get their physical each year. Get your annual. Keep yourself healthy. So I went in yesterday. And, Hoge, it was a busy day. I was moving around a lot. And I thought to myself, this is not an ideal time for this. So I actually freshened up before I went in there just to make sure things were going to be a good situation. And then I learned before the physical that they don't do that anymore. They just use the blood work. So for all you people who are afraid to go get a physical anymore because of what docs used to do.
Carm was excited about it.
They don't do it.
You were disappointed?
He was like, do you want me to? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm really happy that that's no longer a thing. I'm glad. I never understood why they had to do it. What was the whole point? It was just like, but that doesn't exist anymore. We have crossed the meridian, and now they just use the blood work, and you don't have to go through that anymore, Hoge. So you're damn happy that I brought this up today. Get your physical. It's less painful.
I knew that like 3 years ago, but thank you for the PSA.
I didn't know that. I went in there full on terrified. I was like getting myself mentally prepared.
When's the last time you had a physical?
Skeeter in the
Within a year. My doctor's thorough, but
Skeeter in the chat. Are we about to hear about Carm's prostate exam?
Not yet. No, we're doing good, Skeeter. Thank you for caring.
I'll be on the CHGO After Dark, a different night. All right.
That's right, Gritty. I care about your health.
Sense of relief. I thought that was going to be so much worse.
See, I told you you could hang out. But I had never freshened up before. Yesterday I did. That was big.
Well, you look fresh now. Enjoy your date with Pam tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow. We got Baldy tomorrow.
Big Wednesday.
Hallis Hall tomorrow. We'll have Nick there.
No ODK.
No ODK.
There's no game Sunday. There's no ODK.
Do an ODK on the Commanders.
I'm going to the Hawks game tonight. I'll break down the power play.
Are you
tomorrow.
staying down here all day?
No, I gotta go back for a practice and come back.
One of the worst days ever. The double trip in. That's terrible.
And then again tomorrow morning. Yeah. I don't know. Decisions were made.
Don't live in the suburbs. It's just a terrible idea. Live in the city. It's so much better.
I actually wasn't going to go to the game, and then shout out to my guy, Ed Malon, who offered me tickets tonight. Otherwise, I wasn't going. I'm not using my tickets tonight. I'm going separate. Hawks.
It's a lot of detail there, Hoge. Congratulations.
Okay, guy who just announced their physical on the... Gritty wants an ODK on Carmen's physical.
Good one, Gritty. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.